Alrighties. All right, good evening, beautiful friends, and welcome to Are You Fence Sitting on Your Health? And I think that's probably the most bravest thing you can actually do now, is because by showing up, you're actually, like I said, it's like an anonymous, Fence Sitters Anonymous. We're all here, which is really important. I say it to my tribe all the time. You know, the bravest thing that you can do is show up for you. In life before anyone else. You know, it's really about owning and showing up for you. So really grateful. I'll introduce Nat right now. I'm really grateful that she said yes when I said let's go and share this again. We shared this on our online health summit a couple of weeks ago, and it was just an amazing opportunity to get really raw and real with people about our lives, because, you know, really the whole idea is let your mess be your message. So tonight is a little bit about my mess and how that has really become my massive message, and really where all my passion comes from in life. So for those that don't know me, I'm Kimberley Robb, and I run a wellness program called 16 Weeks to Wellness, and I've been doing that for over 5 years now. And I'm a mother of 2 kids and an army wife. So at the moment we're very busy traveling Australia, which is really good as my husband's in his training sort of stage. So this has given me a really opportunity to, I guess, test out some things that have really been huge things for me in my life. So I've always really enjoyed awkwardness. You know, I think I've really enjoyed like the really nitty-gritty conversations that people find really hard to talk about. I think because I moved around as a kid, so I had to kind of be brave and make friends and put myself out there and just kind of break the bubble and just learn to be really honest with myself. So this is tonight is just it's something really close to home for me, and really wherever you're at, whether you're like on the fence right now and you're, you know, one leg's kind of off on where you've come from, or maybe it's hard for you to see past where you're at, I just want to tell you, wherever you are right now is exactly where you need to be. Yeah, right now is where you need to be. Yeah, so don't beat yourself up on where you were hoping you were by a certain time frame. Really important just to own where you are right now. Yeah, so for me, are you fence sitting comes from a really hard conversation my mum actually gave me. She's like, Kim, you're a fence sitter. And I was like, right. And she's like, and one day your bum's going to get sore and you are not going to like the side that you fall off on. And even though she wasn't specifically talking to my health, more so she was talking about my whole lifestyle and how I was living life. And I would burn the candle at both ends. I would go a million miles an hour, like partying Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I would use the weekend to try and catch up. But then I would continue going nuts through the weekend, you know. And I guess the whole design of our bodies is to feel whole, you know, body, mind, and spirit. But I was disconnected. My body was not connected to my mind. I was really disconnected. I would look down at my body and be like, what is this? Like, and really throughout those sort of like teen 20 years, if someone had to ask me, are you eating healthy, Kim? I would have been like, yeah, for sure. You know, because hang on, just mute a couple of people. What I thought was healthy, you know, get up, have a K-Time twist bar, you know, maybe grab a juice, that big white bread roll with a little bit of meat and salad was good, and maybe some sushi, and then I would eat out, you know, and spend all my money. One of the people that have you spend all your money on sort of takeout food. And I really was, if I was to be honest, I wasn't really committed to my health. You know, I wanted to, and I read everything that I wanted to do. I had every health magazine, I had every single book, I tried every single sort of diet. And this really, like, I guess led me to a massive point in my life where I that conversation with mum, I realized, you know, I'm fence sitting on my health. I definitely know my potential, but I'm not living up to it. You know, I'm not scared of kind of how deep and dark I can go with, you know, numbing every emotion with food. I'm really scared about how great I can be. And hang on a second, I'm just going to turn off someone's typing. Hang on. Hopefully they're taking notes. And they're like, whoa, I'm just really connected to my fencing. Sorry. So yeah, I used to just dig into my reserve tank. I don't know about you guys, but if you're fence sitting right now, you kind of feel like you're in reserve, like you're just living from reserve tank. You're like, why everyone's so energetic around me? You know, I sort of get that people feel their best when they're eating well, and aren't I doing that? But I don't feel that well. You know, I've kind of got all these things happening for me. And I guess that was me. I got to a point in my life where I was really frustrated. And I think my mum could see that in me as well, that I was really frustrated with my health. And I was really at a point where nothing I seemed to do would work. I seemed to have tried everything. Or like I said, I thought I'd sort of tried things. But I guess I was really hesitant too. I didn't really know where to start, and I felt like health was really overwhelming. And I get a lot of that with clients now, you know, moving and working in the wellness industry now for over 5 years. A lot of people come like, Kim, but I just don't know where to start. You know, I don't know where to go from here to here, and I've tried this. And you really got to ask yourself, guys, what is it that gets in your way? And for me, I was in my own way. And see, I'd done a lot of personal development, guys, and I'd really start to work out that what was actually holding me back from living this amazing life was me, and was all these really false belief systems that I had believed in about myself. And a lot of that was around food. And a lot of that was around how much food, when to eat. You know, I'd really just been bought into everything that the world tells us what to do, which we know is just pretty garbage, you know. So I had to have like a massive paradigm shift in the way that I was thinking. And I think that's what my mum was trying to tell me. She's like, can you just wake up already, Kimbo? Like, I'm sick of seeing you in this sort of painful state. So I did a lot of personal development, guys, and I really got real with the things that were holding me back mentally. You know, I really was disconnected. In my head, I was, you know, I guess really happy and connected to people, and I loved being social. But then every time I looked down to my body, I couldn't figure out why I was like a size 16. I was like, I just don't get it. Like, what am I missing? There must be some secret, or maybe I'm big boned, or maybe this is just the way that I'm meant to be. And I kept trying to learn things, guys, and then live differently. And the key ingredient that I'd always kept missing was this love part. And so I had to learn to love myself and get really real with what was happening on a mindset level. And once that happened, I started to really act on all the information I had gathered over the years. And I really started to look in the mirror and go, you know what, you're worth it, Kimbo. So I started to act on it. So I started to, I guess, be consistent. Like, one of my beautiful trainers said to me, he said, the only gap between you and me, Kim, is consistency. I was like, well, I can close that gap. I can be consistent. I've never been consistent at any other time in my life, but I'm gonna do it. Like, I just needed to consistently exercise. So that's what I did. I just started to consistently exercise and, you know, just eat really clean. I thought like meat, 3 veg was just like the way to go. So I just made it really, really simple. And I started to lose some weight. But what I didn't realize was really what I needed to fuel my body. I knew what I could do to lose weight, and that was just kind of really reduce my portion size. And I ate way too much food. But what I didn't realize through that sort of exercise process with my life, and this is where that kind of crazy mess happened, was I was just getting run down again. I was like, how is it that, you know, I kind of feel this freedom, goodness, like who feels good when they exercise, right? But then you don't do it consistently, and then you feel like you got to start all over again, and then you beat yourself up about how hard you've got to rebuild everything. And so I found myself in this little vicious cycle where I'd eat well, you know, exercise well, and then became really run down in myself. Like, I didn't even realize the balance. I didn't know how to fuel my workouts. There was really so much I needed to learn, and that felt overwhelming. And so often I would run back to my fence. I'd run back to what was comfortable. You know, I'd ventured off a little bit. I learned some new things, and then I'd kind of come back to, this is hard. I don't know. Maybe I'm just better off easy like this. Maybe this is too overwhelming, too hard basket. But then I'd pick myself up and I'd try again. And eventually what ended up happening was I got to a point where I got really, really sick. and I got chronic sinusitis. I couldn't figure it out. I was a new mummy. I was exhausted. My reserve tank was blown. I really was pretty miserable to be around with my husband, and it was tough, you know, like I didn't get where energy came from in life. And so what I think is really important here is I was hesitating on something. I knew there was more, but where do I go to for answers? So I went to the doctor, and, you know, antibiotics, third round, he says, look, you're really not getting enough from food. And I don't think it's by any sort of sheer coincidence when he's like, look, you need to go and do something about this, that when I went down this sort of path of going to a chemist, which wasn't really my scene, our parents brought us up really, really good, is that I understood very quickly when the pharmacist started asking me questions about was I going to have more children, all that sort of stuff. And I realized that things that were in the chemist weren't really going to be safe for my unborn child. You know, some were, but then he took this one that was he had on the shelf and he put it back. And I've just had these massive alarm bells going, why is anything in there safe for an unborn child? This is kind of crazy. And that is what led me to going to a beautiful trainer's house and then meeting the amazing Natalie Baldock, who you're going to hear from very shortly, who's going to share her beautiful mess of a story that led to her message. And that really changed my world. Sitting and listening to Nat really allowed me to put a few things that I knew to be true in my life together. You know, and I guess this is the thing, is you guys are spending this time right now on you. Like, you're dedicating time to your own personal development. You know, and that's what I needed to do. I realized that I was trying to put things together and kept falling short. So I would run back to what I already knew. But what I did know is that I could heal my body, and that natural was what I wanted to do. I really did believe in that. And so when I heard Nat speak for the very first time about whole food nutrition and that I could heal my life, it blew my brain. And that's when I really stepped into this beautiful wellness industry. So I was learning to be a personal trainer, not because I cared about making people, you know, do really tough, awkward things, but look, sweating is so good for us. But I really wanted to have an opportunity to have conversations with people about what really mattered in life. Yeah. And I think that's what sometimes happens when we're fence sitting, is we're not having a real conversation with ourselves about what's really important in our lives. So I had a good conversation with a beautiful friend today. And she's like, Kim, I know you like to talk about all the awkward, nitty-gritty things in life, and you like to talk about all that stuff. But why don't you give me some good how-tos today, like some things that I can go away from this Zoom call and maybe implement into my life to get me off the fence. And I was like, okay, we can do that. So I just wanted to share quickly just a few of my sort of how-tos and things that I recommend to the beautiful tribe and the clients that I work to that allow me to get off the fence. Yeah, get some distance from what holds me back. Does that make sense? Because I've experienced deep pain in my life, but I've experienced great joy. They have to exist, yeah? But what I really love is these are just a few little things that help me to get off the fence. You know, when I'm fence sitting on my health, and you know the times when you go out and you just buy the latest health food or some weird quinoa or something, and you didn't even know what it was or how to use it, but you saw it trending and you just went and bought it and you don't know how to cook it. Yeah. What we're talking about now is not a trend. Yeah. This is not something that is quick fix. This is fast. This is talking about wellness. Yeah. So this is about really stepping in and doing the next right thing for your health. This is about being so still with yourself that you can actually move to action after stillness. So if you're on the fence, I actually just want you to sit there. I want you to breathe in that space you're at and just sit on your fence and just go, okay, I'm here. That's okay. Breathe. But where do I kind of want to move to? Yeah. But be still with it. Yeah. I think the hardest thing to do is just be still. Yeah. And to really just do. So Well, what I wanted to share is, I guess, this sort of prevention focused sort of diet and lifestyle that I've been about is I never want to get sick again. I never want to get run down to the point where I need to nap when my kid naps. You know, I don't want to get to that sort of stage. So I guess before Nat comes on and shares with us a little bit of wisdom, really embrace one simple change, guys. You know, when people go, oh, I don't know what to eat, Kimbo, and how do I start? I said, just start with breakfast. Just get breakfast super amazing, super green, super whole food like. Get it real and living foods in that breakfast, that first meal of your day when you wake up. And then that's it. Don't worry about the rest of the day. If you eat your Snickers bar, whatever, like, just don't even worry about it. But just nail breakfast. Yeah? Start to create a morning ritual that really works for you. Nail breakfast and then move on to your snack. Nail that, then move on. Yeah? Because you think about the only gap between where you are and where you want to be is consistent. So be consistent in one thing. Yeah? Be consistent in showing up to exercise. Be consistent in one simple good meal. Be consistent in your gratitude journals. Be consistent in really breathing. You know what I mean? Really just be consistent and do the next right thing, but do it simply. I remember the first time I heard about whole food healing, I wanted to go home and rip my pantry apart. Yeah, I was like, all of this is bad, and what am I doing? I've been living in the dark ages, yeah, because you've been awakened. But just do one simple thing. The other thing I would really say to people is go at a pace that makes you happy. Go at a pace that makes you happy. No one else happy. Go at a pace that makes you happy. I think get support. I think that's a really good thing is you're built like a car. Yep. So you're going to need a pit crew. So I learned that I used to try and do things by myself, yeah, which would always put me back on the fence because then I felt exhausted and tired because I was doing it off my own strength. You need a pit crew. So my pit crew now is epic. I got health coaches, I've got mentors, I've got naturopaths, I've got healers, I've got yogis, I've got vulnerability experts all around me. I've just got people who are really real and love, people who are super adventurous. Find and identify your pit crew. Yeah? Who are the people that support you wherever you are in life? I think that's really, really important as well. I think the goal is really to stay whole. If you can stay whole in whatever you're doing, you're going to shift. Yeah, you're not going to be one foot or other because the shifting and moving off the fence is really about, body, mind, spirit. Yeah. So think about where your disconnection is. Be really aware of your disconnection and be ready to own your story. Yeah, really be ready to own it. Don't live outside your story and hustle for your worthiness. You need to live inside your story and own it. So this is me. Yeah, I've maybe made some mistakes I wasn't aware of, but that's okay. We all have. So I guess, guys, are you fence sitting on your health? For me, I could speak about this for so long, but I really wanted to bring in Nat and to sort of share her journey because it was really the journey that inspired me and the real catalyst for me and what accelerated my health and my journey is Juice Plus, which is this amazing whole food concentrate that I got my hands on back when I was really sick and oxidized and run down, and I ended up listening to Nat. I got my hands on like super quick. I had to wait a couple of days for that order to come, and it really annoyed me because I realized, guys, that I couldn't do it all. And I needed a pit crew, and I needed things and people around me that knew more than what I did. And I was humble enough to accept that. And I was looking for it. I was looking for something that was natural and amazing and healing and people that were going to love me. And I found a community, guys, that absolutely rocked my world. They were the most giving, loving people I've ever met. And so from understanding that I could nourish my body simply, I didn't have to go and buy a juicer. I didn't have to do crazy stuff every day. I could really just start my one simple change and be consistent in Juice Plus. And then within a couple of months, my husband's going, Kim, like, I said, what, have you noticed any difference? And he's just like, you are just on this even keel now, like you are just yeah, you're just so much more balanced in your life. And all of a sudden I started to crave more good food and more good nutrition. And I didn't have to do anything crazy, guys. And that's what I really want you to know now is wherever you're at in your health, whether you choose whatever simple change you choose, don't make it massive. You know, people ask me, what's your number one? I said, look, the best thing you can do is put the simplest thing in, get the rainbow and get a really high volume of fruits and vegetables in your life. We all know they're the best. Do Juice Plus. The second thing would probably be to get rid of dairy. You know, I get too many awesome messages. I've lived kind of off dairy, apart from when I'm really sneaky and naughty and do it, is to take yourself off dairy. That would be kind of like my top two things to kind of really make a difference. But that's kind of just me in a really quick nutshell, guys. I know your time is precious, and I really want to get you to hear from Nat. But yeah, hopefully there's a little bit of how-tos, but be aware, love yourself. You're right where you need to be, and just step off and do the next right thing, guys. And we'll be there to support you if you want it as well. All right, Nat, take it away. Share some love.
I loved that, Kim. Just to I don't know a lot of names on the list there, so maybe I'll just completely introduce myself as if you've never met me before. I'm a Institute of Integrative Nutrition coach, and I've written a book called How to Plate Up, which is a food combining program to service the nervous system, the digestive system, and the immune system at the same time to give you tons of energy. But it encompasses Juice Plus. And what we find is that there are really two types of clients. There are those who try to change their diet and it becomes overwhelming and it's way, way, way too much because they've got so much to learn, or they feel there's so much to learn. And then we've got those who follow a simple program or a methodology like How to Plate Up, and then they supplement correctly with something that actually works, that's scientifically proven in over 40 global medical journals to date, and it provides results. And so as most of you may not know, but my story is one that was pretty specific, but also I feel that there's probably a lot of women on this call that have been through the same thing. I had systemic Candida albicans, which was a yeast infection. It started in my gut, made its way down to my female region, ended up with, endometriosis, polycystic ovarian syndrome, irregular periods, cystitis, thrush, polyps, blah, blah, blah. You name it. It's not the sort of stuff you want to talk about, but it also went through my blood up to my lungs, caused lots of lung infections, throat infections, and obviously long term that played a very large role in my anxiety and depression. But the anxiety and depression wasn't a big thing for me. It was kind of very cyclic. Let that get definitely was a part of who I was learning. So just quickly, guys, can I get everyone to mute themselves out because there's a lot of background noise? There's just one or two people that are moving around a bit, so just make sure so everyone else can hear. Thank you. So I spent 14 years really just doing the same thing over and over again, which was go to the doctor and be medicated for specific symptomatic responses. But I didn't really understand that it was actually, there was a primary cause called Candida. And Candida, if you don't understand it, it really simply is a yeast infection that is caused by overeating sugar. And it's like the chicken or the egg. Did you eat too much sugar to create Candida, or did you contract Candida and then the Candida made you crave sugar? And that's the thing, is that what we have learned is that Candida is contagious through sexual activity, but it's also contagious through showers. It can be commonly known as other things like tinea and, things that are tactical on the bottom of your feet. It can come through your body in multiple ways. But I didn't realise that my Candida came from overeating sugar and carb loading as a child. So I ate this amazing diet when I was a kid, just tons and tons and tons of plants. Mum had a fruit and vegetable market. I lived in my grandma's house on the weekends when they were working, and I ate all this fruit and veg, and we were so healthy and we never had problems. And boom, Mum went to work at the age of 12, 13, and I started feeding myself white bread sandwiches with Vegemite, 2-minute noodles, tons and tons and tons of cereals. And then the only healthy meal I'd have at night time was my mum's amazingly burnt chops and soggy veg. So, you know, we didn't have the greatest diet. And I was also over-exercising, over-training and undernourishing. So this was a debacle right up until I was about 26, 27 years old, because I really didn't understand what nutrition meant. No one had explained to me as a child, this is healthy eating. We just ate that way. And no one ever said to me that changing my diet radically was unhealthy either. It was never a discussion that was ever had. And no doctor ever said to me, your diet has got a lot to do with these conditions that keep popping up in your system. So it was awful. So from the age of about 26 to 28, I had a little bit of a crisis and ended up with a series of minor operations, and then one major operation where a third of my cervix was removed. And then from 28 to 34, I went on this journey to discover what food meant. And so from 34 onwards, I felt healthy. I'm now 42 years old, turning 43 in December, and I feel incredible. I feel alert, I feel clear, I feel focused, I feel intelligent. I love the skin that I'm in. I love every part of me. And that is largely due to the fact that I know when I eat wheat, yeast, gluten, and sugar and dairy, it makes me feel low and tired. And that becomes cyclic. And when I do that over and over again, it makes me feel, ugh. So at the age of 34, what happened was I decided that I needed to discover the easiest way to eat and to teach others to do the same. So I started studying nutrition each and every day. I really intensely started to study. And I looked at cellular chemistry, and I looked at the blood group dieting, and I looked at macrobiotics, Ayurvedic medicine, Institute of Integrative Nutrition. I started to look at veganism and pescatarianism and Paleolithic timeframes, as such as the paleo diet. And what I discovered was that it is far more simple than anyone could ever imagine. Eat more plants and you win the health race. So I was like, why do we make this so complicated? It's not that complicated. Eat more plants and win the health race. So what I actually discovered was that we need plants, but we need them in 3 areas. We need protein, as in plants. We need fats, as in plants, and we need plant-based nutrition, as in plants. So it's kind of like a piece of protein, a big salad, and a bit of good quality nut and seed fat. So it's kind of, it could be something like tempeh and a salad and a dressing, or it could be, if you're pescatarian, it could be fish and a salad and a dressing. It could be meat and veg cooked in coconut oils or some nuts on top. You know, we found a way that these 3 foods and these 3 food sources could actually service the body at the highest level. But guess what we also found out? Nobody can eat perfectly each and every day because of these 3 reasons. 1, it's expensive. 2, we can't always eat, 1, it's expensive because we can't always eat biodynamic and organic. 2, to get a full range of nutrition in your diet each and every day would mean that you'd have to have 13 cups of fruit and veg every single day. So you'd have to have all the rainbow all the way through, and tons of greens and fats, nuts and seeds, legumes, grasses, good quality grains and protein. It is really hard to be perfectly consistent all the time. And then thirdly, it's really hard to do because we're human, right? I don't always feel like breakfast in the morning. Oh shit, I had a fight with my husband this morning and I don't feel like eating breakfast at all because I just spent half an hour yelling at him. Or, you know, I'm having coffee with my girlfriend and I'm tempted to have a coffee instead of have something really, really healthy. Or I'm really stressed at work and my boss won't let me leave my desk, so I don't eat anything for the day. Or I have 4 coffees because I've got a big project that's running due. And things like this, we're not perfect all the time. So all of a sudden, when I was 34 years old, I was discovering nutrition at the highest level. And I was thinking, why do I still, even though I eat so well, why is it that I have great days and then sometimes I have an okay day. And then why am I not consistent? And I love food and I love food coaching and I love nutrition. Why is it that even someone like me can't be consistent? And then I thought, I need to find a better way. And so I was introduced to Juice Plus, a whole food concentrate, fruit and vegetable and berries in a capsule, 30 different types of fruits and vegetables, so 10 veg, 10 fruit and 10 berries. And I thought, this is crazy, right? How do they get those fruits and vegetables in a capsule? And then it was explained to me that it's like a cold pressed juice where the sediment hits the bottom, and all we do is remove the water, the salt and the sugar and the fiber, and we take the sediment that's in the bottom, which is the antioxidants, the minerals and the vitamins, and we encapsulate it. So when I understood that it was kind of like a powdered concentrate that you just add water to, which actually made it volumize in the body and become bioavailable to the cells and become active in the cells, then I understood it. So I started taking it each and every day. And the most amazing thing happened. I went to the doctor after being on Juice Plus for 3 months, and I had my very first ever in 20 years clear pap smear. And it was probably one of the most beautiful days I've ever had in my life, because even though I'd got my diet right and my results for my pap smears were better, they were never perfect. I'd never had a completely clear reading. I still had a sugar imbalance in my body. So I asked the doctor, I said, why is it that the only thing I'm doing differently is taking this whole food Juice Plus? And she said, what's your habits like? And I said, well, do you know what? Ever since I've been taking it, I actually crave more vegetables and less fruit. And she said, well, I think Juice Plus is sugar-free, so you're probably getting a lot of nutrition, but none of the sugars. So what you put lots of in your body, you crave more of. That's why if you eat chocolate every day, you crave chocolate every day. And that's why if you ate a massive green salad every day, you crave a massive green salad every day. So I started taking Juice Plus every single day. I've taken it every single day for the last 8.5 years. And I crave fruits and vegetables every single day. I crave a juice. I crave a smoothie. I crave a salad. I crave veggies. Taj and I just had this beautiful organic pumpkin soup tonight. That's what we had for dinner because it's getting a bit cold in Perth now. Today I had the most beautiful big bowl of olives, and then I had a salad. And this morning I had this beautiful green salad for breakfast with this zucchini fritter. And it was kind of my day, but it's still not enough nutrition. I would say today I only had 3 or 4 cups of fruit and veg, but you need 13 across the day. But because I've had my Juice Plus, I've had 30 additional servings of fruits and vegetables added to my diet every day. And the results are profound. It's been 8.5 years and I haven't had an irregular pap smear for that whole time. So the secret to people's prevention, the secret to reducing inflammation, the secret to people having volumized immune health, having better digestive health, and having better nervous health is actually the volume of nutrition, the amount of nutrition, the variety of nutrition that we actually put in our body each and every day. And that's why after 8.5 years, I'm still coaching on the power of plants, a food methodology that works, my How to Plate Up program, and I also recommend Juice Plus to every single client that I meet. Now I have over 15,000 Juice Plus clients around the world in 13 countries, and even last night, Monday night, I was on a call with 30 women from around the world, and there was a beautiful girl, Muslim girl from the UAE, full burqa on, just completely hand on heart saying, thank you so much to everybody that introduced Juice Plus to me. My hair's not falling out anymore. I had big clumps of hair falling out. My digestive disorder has disappeared and I've lost a stack of weight and my life is my own now. And that's why I do what I do, because this is a way we create a ripple effect around the world. And Juice Plus is simple. It's fruits and veggies and berries in a capsule. It bridges the gap between what we don't eat and what we should be eating. So it's a big recommendation, big tick from me. And Kimmy and I met through this business, and I've seen her transition into one of the most beautiful and powerful health coaches in Australia. And hand on heart, she's one of the best PD coaches and one of the best fitness coaches I know. But also too, when Kim and I used to speak together in Australia, in Perth, we used to get 300-400 people turning up to our talks because she's so powerful. And you guys are so blessed to have her over there. We want her back, but we felt like we've lost her. But the thing is, we need her to move around the country to meet lots and lots of people. So, you are really lucky to have her. And I'll do anything to help the success of her clients.
Can I see you tomorrow, Sexy?
Hello.
Oh, hang on. I'll just get someone's.
That's okay. I can't see everyone.
Hang on.
So anyway, look, guys, if anyone's got any questions, I reckon you should throw some questions up here, because we're here to help. And I don't know, Kimmy, if you want to.
Yeah, definitely. That would be wonderful if anyone's got some questions. If you've got time, Nat, that was wonderful. Thank you so much. I love it. And it is so simple, guys, this message. It really is. And I love the How to Plate Up book. It's so simple what Nat does and what she teaches, that my husband, when I'm out training people, he's just like, all right, 60-30-10, 60-30-10, and what is plant-based, how do I do it? And he can plate up, and my kids can plate up in that way. And it has changed our life. And it's one of my favorite things in sharing to all my, the people I meet. I can't help it now. And the older I get, the worse I'm getting.
So Kimmy, I've got some great news.
Yeah.
They actually have a How to Plate Up restaurant in Uluwatu in Bali.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not actually How to Plate Up, but it's called Coco and Poke. And you go in, it's got 3 columns. It's got your protein, then it's got your plant-based nutrition. It says pick one protein, then it's got 50 different plants, and you can pick 5 plants, and then it says pick your good fat dressing.
Yeah.
And so it's like a full How to Plate Up. It's absolutely phenomenal. So I took all my little Balinese girlfriends there and bought them all lunch the other day, and they were like, oh my God, this is so amazing. And I took my client there that came with me to Bali, and she's like, if I eat like this, I will feel amazing. Yeah. And she ate like that every day for 6 days and felt incredible.
Yeah. And it does. It makes you feel so alive.
It does. But the thing is, she was also on Juice Plus for 3 weeks prior, and she was double dosing when she was there with me, because she came as a client with me to see how people actually can be healthy over the course of a day. So we did yoga, we did meditation, we did How to Plate Up 3 times a day. We drank water, we supplemented, and it was absolutely mind-blowing. She cannot believe how good she feels. And this recipe is so important for success. And I just believe that in the modern world, we need to supplement, because our food is just not the way it used to be anymore.
Yeah, definitely. Bonnie's just put up a question there, Nat. Can you see that one?
Let me have a look. How do I get my husband to change mindset regarding the masculine favourite serving style of meat, and token greenery? Oh, you mean the garnish? Yep, you can't, babe. Do you know what? The only thing I always say to everybody all the time, as a wife, if you want to change the way your husband views food, you have to be a source of inspiration, not a source of desperation. So when I say that, if you're desperate for him to change, he feels that he's going to resist, because with any source of desperation becomes resistance. So the best thing to do is actually just eat this way. Grab the How to Plate Up, get on Juice Plus, go and be the most amazing, energetic buddy that you possibly can. Make sure you're exercising too, and feel so beautiful that he goes, oh God, I've got to catch up. And that's exactly what happened to my partner of 10 years. I just ate beautifully every day. And he said, well, I'm going to do what you do because you're looking smoking and I don't want to get left behind. So, you know, that's tell him it's natural Viagra. Do you know what? I think sometimes, you know, it really is about you leading from the front, and never ever go home from an event like this and just pull the cupboard apart and chuck everything out that's toxic. Just, it's always in slow steps. I believe first step needs to be supplement correctly. I believe the second step is to exercise and eat correctly. And when I say that, maybe take the How to Plate Up or find a really good program that you like, that Kim approves of, that she knows is super healthy and that will totally align with the plant-based food method. And then the third step is just truly love yourself. But when I say love yourself, just make sure you're hanging out with people that align with your values and you're actually living on purpose and doing the things you love each and every day, and surrounding yourself with people that lift you up and not pull you down.
I'll put up a few more pictures, Bonnie, because Bonnie is absolutely amazing. That she has just smashed out her 16 weeks to Bondage round and exercises in her, running up and down her hallway, and it's is on Juice Plus and is really adopting Simple Change. So I think definitely the How to Plate Up will be really massive there as well. And I'll try and put some more pictures of Kez in his masculine plant protein. Maybe that will inspire an army man to an army man, who knows. But it's doable.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's a struggle for the husbands sometimes because they're so physical, and sometimes they can just get away with exercising and not eating well. But the thing is, they probably never felt the connection to exercise and plant-based nutrition. You know, there's some amazing responses to plant-based nutrition and physical activity as well, because you get most of your muscle mass developing from green plants, not meat.
Yep. And Ayla's just put up, I struggled to not have meat as my protein, but I feel this is only because it's all I know. And Ayla, that's how I felt as well. It was really like opening up Pandora's box and rabbit holes, and there's some beautiful stuff out there that I'll share with you as well, babe, of things that we've done. We've done a massive change in even the last 16 weeks. We're trying to reduce the meat in our house as well, because it was all I knew as well, guys. So remember, don't beat yourself up for where you're at. Just, again, we started with Meat-Free Monday, just one night a week. We bought some veggie burgers from, the supermarket, and then just next we took out, the processed hams and all that sort of jazz, but just one little thing at a time.
Oh, and like bocconcini balls, that's a great source of protein, and tempeh and beautiful tofu and nuts and seeds. And even if you want to get better quality protein like kangaroo or duck, those sorts of things are fine, or fish. Just transition away from processed meats and lots of red meat. Lots of red meat causes lots of digestive conditions. It takes about 3 days for that stuff to get out of your system. So women should be eating red meat once a week, and men should be eating red meat no more than 3 times a week, because that's not how we, in nature and in history, that's not how we ate anyway. We never ate 3 times a day. That's what happened when kings and queens introduced a table to sit down and eat at 3 times a day, because of wealth and royalty, and it comes from gluttony. So when we eat a very beautiful plant-based diet, which is 80% plants and then a little bit of protein, whether it be fish or a little bit of meat or a little bit of chicken, a little bit of whatever, that's perfectly fine. But just remember, it's 30% protein, 60% plants, plant-based nutrition, and then 10% plant-based fats. And if sometimes that protein is plant-based, then you can take it up to the 80% of plants every day and every week. And that is where the power comes in. The more plants you put on that plate, the more powerful you feel. And then top it up with some Juice Plus fruit, veg and berry blend, and then maybe the Juice Plus Complete, and I can tell you what, you're freaking unstoppable. I've been working since 6 a.m. this morning and I still feel good, do you know? But
Yeah.
anyway, guys, I hope this has been valuable information, but stay close to Kimmy. She knows what she's doing. She's an incredible, incredible, powerful soul. And you know, I truly believe she can take you to wellness. And then you can also start sharing that with the world as well.
Thank you so much, Nat, for your time. Super appreciate it. And thank you for everyone jumping on the fence tonight. And hopefully you've got a little niggle off to the side that you actually really want to be on. But thank you so much, guys. I'll hang on for a couple of minutes, but we'll let Nat go and keep inspiring everyone. But
thanks, guys. Yeah, I've got 2 more calls tonight, so I've got to go. But anyway, big kiss.
Thank you, Nat.
Bye,
really appreciate it. Bye.
Bye.